Okay, folks, I have to cut that off, folks. Part 2.
And you might not be benefiting from it like your grandfather did, but you damn sure are doing better than what we are doing these days. And comparisons, even in comparisons, if I walk around my hood or walk around Michigan with my guns, and my boys, we all got our guns out, and the white militia is doing it at the same time, who's going to get stopped first? Who's going to get their rights violated first? How do we not talk about race when it comes to capitalism? Yeah. This isn't some, oh, look, you a fucking racist. No, the system is racist. And if you feel some type of way about us saying something about it, then maybe you still feel some type of way in your fucking heart. Maybe you still a fucking racist in your heart. And all that leftist perfume that you spray on yourself cannot cover up.
He's a leftist. This guy's not a leftist. You don't realize that. He's a soul. He's more of a... He's a grifter. Maybe he's a grifter. He's a shilling for the Republican. Donald Trump.
Shit! That you really are.
Yeah. What did he say? Just go back what I like
even
that
with
rant.
me, it takes me away from class issues. Class issues are crucial. Class issues are fundamental. But it doesn't mean that I'm putting up with white supremacy. One of the problems is that you get too many folk who want to talk class, and can't say a mumbling word about white supremacy, police brutality, can't say a mumbling word hardly. Or when they do say it, you call it identity politics as if it's not connected to class. I'm hitting these head on. I'm standing with the workers when it comes to strikes. I'm standing with the workers when it comes to greedy bosses.
So Dr. Cornel West said he's standing with the workers. So why is Jimmy upset here? So why does Dr. Cornel West standing with the workers and being right on policy, is that a race? Because he disagrees with you on race? So some white allies are willing to break class solidarity because we have a different analysis of society than you? So this is the part where Dr. Cornel West is 100% right.
And it's
like what we touched on earlier before. But go ahead,
I would like to point out a punchline from a rapper named Crooked Eye. He had said, some see abortion as brutality, but don't care if the police leave me a corpse or a casualty. Yeah. And that is the white left right now. Like, they do, when it comes to class, they love RBA. Oh, we're talking about all coming together and whatnot, but when we're talking about black issues, wow, don't talk about race. Why fuck not? How can I not talk about crushing capitalism?
Yep.
Like, that's not directly linked to white supremacy. What you guys don't want to hear is that you're benefiting from white supremacy like every other motherfucker before you have done. And you might not be benefiting from it like your grandfather did, but you damn sure are doing better than what we are doing these days.
This is the big thing, folks. The so-called white liberals. This is what Malcolm warned about. So-called white left. This is what he warned about. He warned you guys about. When you're the previous, previous generation, he warned them about that. And you should know this. You should be wary of who you're partner with.
And comparisons, even in comparisons, if I walk around my hood or walk around Michigan with my guns, and my boys, we all got our guns out, and the white militia is doing it at the same time, who's going to get stopped first? Who's going to get their rights violated first? How do we not talk about race when it comes to capitalism?
Yep.
Yeah. This isn't some, oh, look, you a fucking racist. No, the system is racist. And if you feel some type of way about us saying something about it, then maybe you still feel some type of way in your fucking heart. Maybe you still fucking racist in your heart.
Yes. That's what this Jimmy Dore is. That's why other white leftists say this he's racist, Jimmy Dore. That's what they say. And maybe with this interview, maybe this exposed Jimmy Dore. Exposes Jimmy Dore more than Cornel West. actually. He's exposed him for what he is. He's not a black ally. Or even, not even other groups. He's not an ally to that.
And all that leftist perfume that you spray on yourself cannot cover up the shit that you really
See,
are.
they don't really believe in Jimmy Dore, justice and criminal justice, justice and civil rights. You know what I mean? Like they don't really believe in that. Like some of these white leftists, they believe it when it pertains to them, like to Donald Trump. They say he's this and that. He's been the sympathy for Donald Trump, and then the January 6th, he talks about January 6th too. Jimmy Dore, I don't think I have it in this. Did he talks about this in I don't know. I'm not sure, but the sympathy for them. Not even the TYT is going towards more sympathy for them, for the January 6th rioters. Some of them are, yeah, I mean, but they have no sympathy for other groups, for black groups, or I mean, even the trans, they have no sympathy for them. And that's more of a touchy issue than you think, but hey, like you don't want to see them brutalized, killed. I mean, even the trans, they could do whatever they do, I guess. But you want to see them like violence, killed or whatever. I mean, violence upon them. You don't want that. Even the against black people, we don't want that either. And I mean, being brutalized by the cops. But they don't care about that. Some of these leftists, white leftists, they don't care about that. You know what I mean? And they're not really allies. Huh. See, you should start this. Maybe they should start this associating with these other groups. RBN, these leftists, white leftists. I don't know. Maybe you should go with the Vanguard. Believe it or not, they're more towards your view than these Jimmy Dore types. Maybe you guys are wrong about the Vanguard and these other, you know what I mean? These are younger groups who care about, maybe the younger leftists who care about we say they go into the culture wars, but in some cases they do it too much. Go into the culture wars. But they do talk about labor and stuff too, but like some of them, but you have an ally. You might have an ally in those groups, believe it or not, than these guys, Jimmy Dore types. Do dissidents, but do dissidents is not, I don't know. Do dissidents is more like I don't know if they call them. They're more like they're leftists. I don't think they're leftists, anyways. Do dissidents. They're more like liberals and straight out leftists.
I just want to add.
No, but they're all leftists who call themselves leftists. They're not really. They're more like liberals. Like, liberal elites, kind of. Like the class and their, you know what I mean? And I used to think Brianna was like that. Brianna Joy Gray. And she's not like, I seen her debating Carlin, Klinsky, and Christo, and she's well off, but she understands the issue. She there for the working class, it seems like, and the poor. Man, she's not a bourgeois. Like even a guy like Vosh, he's more like in the bourgeois, like elite, kind of. His family's rich or something, I heard, or well off. So, well, not rich, but he's okay. Middle class, upper middle class, something like that.
Go ahead, Sammy.
I'm sorry. I just want to add, that's a really good point there, Rome and Nick. I just want to add, I think when some people here put connect with people by class first, and then you can talk about the other issues. What I've noticed, particularly online, people are actually saying, don't talk about race at all. And there's a difference between, we talk about what the Black Panthers did. Yes, they organized along class lines, but the Black Panthers were not willing to work with the Young Patriots until they denounced their racism. And not everybody stayed. And we got to be clear about that. Some people left the Black Panthers when this coalition happened, and some people left the Young Patriots because they were not willing to do that. And they did not want to organize with a different group of people. So it wasn't all roses around here. But what I'm saying is, you really cannot separate the two. And I'll give you a perfect example. What we saw happen, or what we just heard about happen in Jacksonville, Florida, the Black people who were killed at the Dollar General, the Black people that were killed in the church in South Carolina, the Black people that were killed at the supermarket in Buffalo, New York, that had nothing to do with class and 100% to do with race. You see why we can't separate the two? There are certain things that happen to us that we have to deal with as Black people. And even when you get into the intersectionality of it, there are certain things that Nick and CJ and Rome and JB have to deal with as Black men that I don't have to deal with as a Black woman, and vice versa. You see what I mean? When Black men get pulled over by the police, are they being pulled because of their class or because they're Black? So these are things that you need to think about. And no, you cannot just sit up there and say, like, when people say, guys, don't talk about race, just talk about class. No, bullshit. You either in solidarity with me for both, or you're not in solidarity with me at all. Because when the racial shit happened, a lot of times the people who get on board with us for class, when the racial shit happened, they disappear. I'm just keeping it real.
I remember being out there with CJ, and I was trying to, go around and do what I do. And I'm talking to this conservative dude about, he mad because he can't get his guns. It's hard to get your guns. I said, you know why it's hard to get your guns? Because y'all motherfuckers didn't speak up. When they was doing that shit to the Black people, the only reason why it's hard for you motherfuckers to get y'all guns in California now is because of the Black Panther Party. You didn't speak up, now we all oppressed.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to bring up, and a lot of times people, can I share this tweet really quick? So I brought this up, and I think this also needs to be, hampered upon. I said in the tweet is, I appreciate you understanding this. It said, when you look at the polls regarding health outcomes, housing, education, criminal justice, food insecurity, and jobs, who fares the worst in these categories? They're all class issues. Race equals class. When you talk to Black people, when you talk about the disparities between us, when it comes to things like health outcomes, who fares the worst in our healthcare system? Black people. Okay. Who fares the worst within housing when it comes to race? Black people. Who fares the worst when it comes to education? Black people. Who fares the worst when criminal justice? And here's the thing. When we're talking about class, right? How many Black people can actually vote, and how many people who are Black who are actually in prison? 40% of the prison population is Black, even though we're only 13% of the population. And then on top of that, then
they're not convicted, JB. Don't leave out that, because the white people love to say that motherfucking bullshit. Don't leave out that most of these people are not convicted of a fucking crime. They are just there.
That's true. And the Adrian point, the exoneration rate is actually the highest among Black people. But my point is that all these Black people that have records, guess what? It locks them out of getting better jobs, which is a class issue. And then on top of it, because they have convictions on their record, they can't vote. So then that's another class issue.
And then a lot of us are still locked away, which means it's a class issue for our families. So that provider's no longer there. So when we talk about race and class, and by the way, Savvy, Nick, Rome, Savvy, Nick, Rome, and Savvy, and CJ, I'm sorry. How did we get here? How did our ancestors get here in the first place? Was it because they just hated black people? No, it was class, because they saw a group of people that they can bring over and say, hey, we're going to have these people work for free as chattel. And they kept us in a second-class position this entire time. And you can say, well, you know, we've had the Civil War, we had the Civil Rights era. The thing is that the work is not done. It's not done. Because we're still second-class citizens, and especially when you look at the institutional racism. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about just people riding around in white hoods and stuff like that. No, we're talking about the institutional biases that still exist today, especially when it comes to jobs, education, healthcare, and all the like. And then on top of it, there's another thing that I need to point out, is that why don't you, as a white person, have healthcare? Why don't you have universal healthcare?
Wait, I got the video for that. I got the video to show.
But yeah, Sabs, you know, you actually played it.
Yeah, before that video, I have that video.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna share this video because this is a perfect example how legislation and laws that we have passed in this country that were meant to target black people actually ended up.
I'm gonna forward that. That's on my channel, folks. Let's see you.
He published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro.
How many times do I have to say this? Racism is a detriment to you white folks, poor white folks especially.
Hey, we're going to have these people work for free.
Because they thought if they could deny.
I have this video on I have a full video, full conversation with, I think he was on the Tom Hartman. He was on the Pac-Man show. He was on with Pac-Man, Hartman. And they're talking about healthcare. But I'm gonna forward this because it's on my channel. If anybody wants to know that interview, I'm gonna forward this. Let's see.
For universal health care in the wars. We advocate for the strengthening of the working class. Meanwhile, you guys want us to coddle white people because we may hurt their feelings, which is made betray us. So how is it our fault? How is it our fault that if we hurt their feelings, they betray our movement? That's our question.
Who are we really talking about is the question. And this is something when I was looking through this in my notes, this is one of my questions. Who are we really talking about? Because are we talking about tailoring a message to make racist Trump supporters feel okay to team up with Dr. Cornel West? Because if that's what we're talking about, I'm out on that. But if we're talking about simply tailoring a message, a campaign message, let me be specific, a campaign message that's centered around economics, we can do that. That does not preclude you from talking about race as a person if that's what you want to talk about, especially if it's affecting you. Now, I do think it's a good time for me to interject this short video because
go ahead.
I have a maybe it's not a slight difference. Luckily, my internet is working because this point that this guy makes, that I'm going to share this video, this point that this guy makes, he specifically talks about what we're talking about right now, about black people, and like how do black people make their lives better? What strategy can they use to make their lives better? And let me share my screen here. 1 second, everybody. How can you make their lives better? But what this guy does is he breaks down how, in order to achieve those, you know what? I'm starting to think something's fishy up with this video.
Ha.
Because everything on my thing is working.
Let me see. I'm gonna forward. Did he end up showing the video? Maybe not. I don't think he ends up showing the video. Let's see.
What's going on? But you got a gun in the car store? Yeah, it's in the glove compartment. Man, come on, man. Bullshit.
Yeah, we have a ton of super chats, so I want to get to them because I'm sure we all running low on time. So we got tons.
If this works, I got it in a different form. Let me see if this works because I think you will appreciate it. We've been talking about it, even some of the comments, but listen to this, what he says here about black people.
Still don't see it, CJ.
It's still not playing. Oh, I give up, man. I give up. We just got to add this to another stream because
we can always play another time because we still got.
I give up.
Yeah, I still got.
So they didn't get that. So folks, that's about it, folks. I think that's it, Piano.
People even look. People even like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Riding off emotion. And I just wanted to piggyback off of JB what he said before we started the super chat. People feeling uncomfortable and whatnot. I'm telling you, they are only feeling uncomfortable. They do not want us to talk about our past and the things that we go through because they are racist in their heart. There is no reason why you would call yourself.
Can someone take over super chats real quick? Sorry, Ron. Can someone take it over? I'll be right back. Can someone take it over while I'm at?
Okay, folks. I'm gonna end this. That's it for they're not gonna show any more of the interview. I think that's it for that. So they exposed Jimmy Dore. They exposed it to them because many are saying that Jimmy Dore, he's really a shill for the Republican Party and Donald Trump, and he's there to cause division among the leftists, and he's not really a leftist, anyways. I don't know if he's a Republican really. And he used to be with TYT. That shows you there. He used to be with TYT. But some who left, him and what's the other guy who left? The other gay, he's a LGP, he was a gay guy. He left our TYT. No, he's against his own, he's anti-trans, anti-gay, or some anti-LG. Anti-alphabet, what do you call that? He's totally opposite. And this is like Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is the same way, totally opposite. See, one of all the TYT is just, this is a grift. It's just really a grift. But there are some people still, that's why I still watch TYT. Even they still support in a way black people, marginalized community. Not much though. They're slowly moving away. I think they're slowly moving away because they say that they're going to do class, and they don't believe in affirmative action. And doing this reverse racism crap, our TYTs, that's what they're doing. So doing this reverse racism crap. But there's some good people there. I mean, Dr. Richie's there. I guess JR. But JR is good, I guess. Nina Turner's still there. But, what's her name? Florentini. Florentini's still there. She's on the panel, Friday panels. And Ravana, she's a lesbian, well, LGBT lesbian. She's there. She good takes. But there's some leftists. I think they're leftists. They have leftists there, but the main two, they one of their leftists. Many liberals are Cenk and Anna. I think Anna used to be a leftist, kind of. And he's not real. Okay, she's more moved to the center to me. She's like a liberal, slightly in the middle, slightly left, more in the middle. And he's I don't know what he is. He's supposed to be a progressive, I guess. How could it capitalism? Populist capitalist. I think it's more like populist capitalism is more like I would say like not like neoliberal. Slightly better than neoliberal, but it's not really leftist to me. I don't think it's leftist. It's not leftist policies. They support leftists. It's supposed to go towards the capital should go to more towards the people who need it. That's what it's saying. And that's slightly to the left, maybe. You know what I mean? It's not like a democratic socialism. We do more actually. But these guys here look, they're supposed to be like more actually communists. So Nick says he's a communist. These other people are more they're socialists, I guess. I'm more towards these guys, I guess. I'm not I'm a progressive. But I'm not I'm not like Nick. I'm not completely communist. But Jenky's really, he's more like a progressive. I mean, a liberal. To me, he's not really a progressive, a leftist. I don't think he means if you're progressive, you're not really a straight, like a far leftist. You're more slightly liberal. You're maybe more like a liberal. Mainstream liberal, maybe. Kind of a mainstream liberal. You know what I mean? But you could be a conservative liberal, I guess. There's a word. Or the conservative Democrat. But it's not really a conservative Democrat you could be, but you're not really a liberal or a leftist. Yes. You're like a moderate. That's what a conservative Democrat is. A moderate. So you're really a moderate. So Cenk is like a little to the left. He's supposedly a capitalist, populist capitalist. It's like a liberal way. It's like a liberal, really. I would say it's like a moderate. So he's really a moderate to me. But in the U.S. the right wing, the political window the Overton window is more to the right. Other countries will be a moderate or conservative. In other countries, or leftist countries. Well, not even leftist countries, other countries in general. In South America it would be, some cases be extremists. Democratic Party would be extremists. And it got shifted more to the right. Even more so like in Canada. It shifted more. I think they're trying to do the same thing here, move the Overton window here to more to the right. But I think in our politics in Canada more to the left. That's a good thing. But the media's trying to pull it more to the center or more to the right. in the Conservative Party, definitely is. They're trying to do like they're trying to do more like the Republican Party in the States. They're trying to be like. So anyways, folks, I'm gonna end this. This is part 2 is over, and I'm gonna eat right now. That's it for this, folks.